One day, boy, you're gonna be too big for your dad to do that.
He is such a good dad. And it's just really frustrating when I'm trying my hardest to just like stay strong for my son. And when he got out of the Uber, he just seemed really confused, like he didn't exactly know where like we weren't in the place we were supposed to be in his eyes. So he just took off walking, and our friend was like, no, Brittany, don't worry about it. I'll go get him. And I was like, okay. But when I had talked to him around 4:03, he said, I'm walking through the woods. I see the Hilton. I'll be there in 5 minutes. It just makes no sense.
2 months later, Brittany says she's still searching for answers.
Like, I'm not giving up. I'm not ever going to stop.
And I'm going to tell you right off the bat before we even start that I think aliens is a very decent theory for this case.
Really?
Once we get through this case, I'll ask you. But honestly, aliens makes as much sense as anything else in this case. I do not understand this case. We're going to talk about Tyler Davis. You ever heard of Tyler Davis?
I think only of what you've briefly told me.
Tyler Davis is a young man, and he's like, just starting out his life. He has so much going on for his future. He was a manager of a fast food restaurant outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. I think a Wendy's is what it was.
Okay.
Not positive. I think it might have been a Wendy's. And he had a wife whose name was Brittany. He and Brittany had a son named Aaron, who was about 2 years old. Brittany, she mostly stayed home, but sometimes on the weekends she worked as a bartender.
Okay.
Just to help supplement. So both of these in the couple have jobs where they work nights. So they're very accustomed to staying up late. They're night owls. They work different hours than other people. Even their son Aaron's on a little bit of a different schedule, just so they can still spend time with him and see him.
Gotcha.
It's just kind of important to know that they are night owls. They are night owls. They are used to staying up late.
Okay.
All right. So as you've already kind of talked about, being a couple with young children, it can be hard to find times to go out together. Right?
Especially too if they're night owls, not everything's up then,
So they had an agreement with each other to go out 3 times a year. And those 3 times a year are, well, go out together 3 times a year. That's still, when you have a 2-year-old.
Yeah. I guess that's not
like
including like at home dates and stuff.
No, this is like them going out.
Okay.
Alone together. So they do this on their anniversary and each of their birthdays.
Okay.
Brittany's birthday was February 24th. So our story begins, I guess, I don't know if it takes place, but it begins the night of February 23rd of 2019. So it's a pretty new story. It's only about 2 years ago that this all happened. So the couple had plans to go away for the night since the next day is Brittany's birthday, part of their agreement. So they get ready and they heading from Cincinnati towards Columbus. On their way towards Columbus, they stop off and meet with Tyler's parents. They have a meal and they drop off their son with Tyler's parents. So Tyler's parents are going to take Aaron while the couple goes and enjoys their evening out, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So after they've stopped, by this point, it's already late afternoon because, once again, couple not into early morning. So they stopped, had a meal, and it's afternoon time. Okay. So now they keep driving, and they drive to their destination, which is the Hilton Hotel at Easton Town Center. Now, the Easton Town Center is a really large, shopping area. There's hotels, stores. It's like a busy, bustling place. So you can see it has all these stores. It has a bunch of restaurants. There's even I feel like I saw somewhere last time I looked, it's like a Lego Discovery Center in here. This is a big mall. There's a lot of stuff happening in here. That is where they go. So when they go to check in, it's late afternoon. Stores are bustling. There's a lot of people around. And so they check into their hotel around 5, which is still pretty early for them. So they hang out at the hotel for a few minutes while they wait to meet up with Tyler's friend who's going to hang out with them that night. Which I think...
That's kind of weird.
I think so too. It's a little weird to me that Tyler's friend is going to come hang out with them on their one
out of 3 day. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's her birthday. So I don't know. I think it's a little weird.
It is.
His friend prefers to stay out of the spotlight, obviously,
I don't blame him.
but he was there, and
That is weird.
he definitely makes some weird decisions later on, if we're being honest. So we'll see. Okay, so they go in. I think it's really weird that they stay in their room while they're waiting for him. A lot of people think it's weird because, like, they were probably like getting dressed up. I'm pretty sure they were taking showers and things. But it seems odd to me that they would wait for the friend in their room. This is when the mall is going to be open and it's when there's stuff for them to do. I feel like they would start exploring the mall until
Yeah.
he came. So a lot of people, this one's all speculation and theories, but a lot of people wonder if they were doing drugs or something.
I guess.
I don't know. It's also possible that they were doing some personal things that weren't illegal, but just things you do on a night out.
Ow, ow.
You know, the 2-year-old's gone. Maybe that's what was going. I don't know. So I'm not positive. I mean, I personally would probably want to go explore a little bit just because this is when the mall's going to be open if you're, used to staying up all night. But, it doesn't necessarily mean it's suspicious. Maybe they just had some other plans. I'm not sure this is proof they were doing drugs, which a lot of people online are like, they were doing drugs. I'm like,
I mean, do they
okay,
even have like a drug background?
as far as I can tell, not really. I mean, she's
Okay.
a bartender and like they drink, but from what I know, it's not like they're known crack addicts or anything.
Okay.
I mean, they party a little bit, but not like abnormal party.
Right.
All right, this friend shows up and they head out to begin their night by going to bars. So they start out at a bar called Bar Louie, which I think this one might be closed now, but it was there in the town Sweets Mall.
Okay.
All right. And then they go to Adobe Gilla's, I don't know how to say it, which is also in the mall. Okay. However, these bars start to close. Even the restaurants in the mall are only open till midnight. They're not quite done because they're night owls and they feel like they just started partying. So they make the decision to go 20 minutes away to a gentleman's club and bar called the Dollhouse.
Okay.
Which is apparently a rather popular, well-known club in the area.
Okay.
And apparently it was Brittany's idea. I've heard interviews of her where she says this was her idea.
Okay.
Because she hadn't been to a gentleman's club before and she just wanted to see what it was like, and it was somewhere that was open and they could have a few more drinks. So they went to the Dollhouse.
No judgment there.
That's where they go to spend the rest of their evening. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because my cat is worming around like crazy. Anyway, so they're at this gentleman's club for a while more, and near the end of the night, Brittany goes to the bathroom. And when she comes out, there is a slight commotion between the boys and a bouncer because the bouncer's like, hey, it's time to go. We're closing. And the guys are like, okay, well, my wife's in the bathroom. We're just waiting for her and we'll leave once she comes out. And so once she was out, she said it didn't feel like a big deal, like informing them. And then once she came out and saw they weren't lying, she was really in there. It was just like, okay, whatever, it's time to go, but everything's
right. Okay.
They get out and they get into an Uber and take a 20-minute Uber ride back to the hotel. So far, everything seems mostly normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they took an Uber, and on the ride back to the hotel, Tyler falls asleep. They wake him up when they get back to the hotel, and he's very upset and disoriented. And he keeps insisting that they're at the wrong place and they weren't supposed to be here. Okay, so he gets out of the car, and he says he needs to clear his head, and he's going to take a walk. Brittany needs to use the bathroom. She's been drinking all night and she's like, I need to go to the bathroom. And she also needs to charge her phone. So the friend apparently says that she should go up to the room and he's going to check on Tyler. So she goes up to the room for about 10 minutes. What are your thoughts on this?
That he's acting really weird, and it could be just that they've been drinking. I don't know why he would think that they were at the wrong place. I don't know if...
I think that it's weird that Brittany goes upstairs. Even if the friend says that he's going to go check, I don't think I would let my drunk partner who is like disoriented and doesn't know where he is, go off on a walk while I go upstairs.
Depends on how close of a friend it is, I guess.
And I guess that is true. Like, I
Like
don't
if
know.
it was you and you had to pee and just go charge your phone real quick and you said you'd be right back, I'd watch Ellie.
Yeah.
And I feel like you would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Especially if
I
you've
don't
been
know.
drinking and you really have to pee.
And I guess it depends on how weird and disoriented he was acting too. I mean,
Like I said, it
I
could
don't
just
know.
be like a drunk thing where you're like, well, I really have to pee. So I'm just going to do this real quick and I'll be right back.
10 minutes later, after she's gone to the bathroom and charged her phone a little bit, Brittany heads back downstairs and the friend is coming in. And he assured her that Tyler said he was just taking a walk and would be right back.
Why would you let him go alone?
I told you the friend is a little, that's why I'm saying, like, I guess I don't know how well she knew this friend, but obviously the friend made a weird decision here, which I guess hindsight's 2020, but that's why I'm
Okay,
like, why
no.
did you just let him wander off?
There's no way I would just let like Ellie just wander off.
Yeah, so he's like, oh yeah, Tyler's taking a walk. He'll be back in a few minutes.
No.
Okay, so Brittany's like, oh, what? Okay, so she tries to call him and he doesn't answer, but he does call back. Right,
Okay.
so at this point where his call comes in, it is now 3:37 a.m. and he's like, yeah, I'm just walking around the block and I'll be right back. All right, so I have to wonder what is going on in Tyler's head. He is drunk and he thinks they're in the wrong place already, so he's going to walk around the block.
That doesn't make
When they're
sense.
already lost, is like, oh, I'm gonna take a walk around the block. But also, once again, even if they were, this friend just also leaves him, which is weird. And also now, if I were Brittany, I think I'd go looking for him.
Yeah.
Once again, hindsight's 2020, and she just talked to him on the phone, so I don't know. She doesn't go out looking right now.
Okay.
He obviously isn't just walking around the block. So that was at 3:37. Now the next call from him comes in at 4:10. All right, so
that's quite a chunk of time missing.
yeah. And so this time he says that he is in the woods, but he could see the hotel and he would be there in 5 minutes.
What?
Okay, so looking at maps of this place, there is a tree area that I guess could be considered the woods, but it's almost more like a large, heavily treed park, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could define
No,
it as the
I
woods.
don't think that
I
sounds like
guess.
the woods. I mean, yeah, if you're drunk and disoriented and you're
So-
in trees, okay.
Maybe, but so like I said, it is relatively treed, but at least from what it looks like, I've never been there, but on Google Maps, he's in a big, very heavily treed park. And it is technically possible he could see the hotel from this point, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, but if I were Brittany, this would make me even weirder. Okay, we already know that he has no clue what he's talking about because he said he was just walking around the block. And now she's not familiar with this area and he says he's in the woods. So I feel like I would probably already go out looking for him. But for now, she just waits.
Okay.
Okay, so he calls back 2 minutes later, but there's just dead air. And then he either hangs up or possibly his phone dies. Because remember, they've been out for a while now. We already
Right.
know
Her
that Brittany
phone
had
was
to
already
charge
dying.
her phone.
Yeah.
And so it's probably likely his phone was running very low on battery. So I kind of think his phone probably dies at this point. Not that he calls and then it just goes to dead air and hangs up. I personally think his phone died.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a little after 4:10 that this is going up.
Okay.
Well, or again, according to this map, it says 3:53. So somewhere in between here. My websites might have the timing slightly off, but it's the middle of the night. Okay. She also may have said 4:10 and then recalled it slightly wrong. He's still wandering around. His phone is probably dead. What do you think happens next?
He's not found. He's just
Well,
gone.
yeah, okay. That's obvious, but it gets
Okay.
weirder first. Are you ready for this?
It gets weird. Okay.
To my opinion, at 4:30, the friend goes home. He just goes home.
What?
Okay, so apparently he only lives about 10 minutes away.
Okay.
I don't know what this guy's normal schedule is. I don't know, but it seems super weird to just like, yeah, I was the last person to talk to Tyler, but I'm just gonna leave Brittany now and go
All by
home.
herself.
What the hell is going on with this dude? He lets Tyler just go walk around.
So was
then-
was he with her up until that point though?
Yes.
Okay. He left and Tyler Davis stuck around with her and then now is leaving her.
Yeah, a lot
Okay.
of people say Brittany's story doesn't add up, but I'm sitting here like, I think that the friend's story doesn't. Who just is like, Okay, I'll go check on Tyler. Okay, I let Tyler go. Now I'm going to stick around until Tyler's phone dies, and now I'm going to leave. What?
What is right?
He is being super weird to me. Like, okay, so now he's just gone.
Okay.
So now Tyler's phone is dead. He's not back at the hotel. The friend is gone. Brittany is just like freaking out. And it's like she's in a place she doesn't know very well. I kind of feel bad for her.
I feel for her.
It's her birthday now because, we're up in the
Ah.
morning. It's her birthday. Her husband is missing. This guy has abandoned her. It's a mess. Okay.
I want to know like how well they knew this dude.
I don't know. All right. So we come to 8 a.m. Brittany's still at the hotel and she is just freaking out. She's already called hospitals and jails and she hasn't found anything out. So finally, she finds an old friend who lives in the area. She's worried that Tyler maybe passed out somewhere and that
would make
he's
sense.
out in the cold.
Yeah.
So she finds a friend that she knows in the area and this friend comes over and they go out searching and they find nothing.
Okay.
So they do a decent search of this area. Now, once again, this area is a mall. It's a relatively occupied area. There's a decent amount of people around, and they aren't seeing anything. They're not seeing him. They're not seeing any sign of him.
Okay.
So at 10:30, she really didn't want to call his parents, but it's time. So now she calls his parents, and she calls the police.
Good.
Okay.
Good for her.
Poor thing, having a horrible birthday. So she calls the police at 10:30. They arrive at 12:30. Nice and speedy. Cops there. Took 2 hours to get there. And even once they get there, technically, they can't do anything yet. It's one of those classic situations. Oh, you have to wait a certain amount of time.
Bullshit.
So
that's bullshit.
We waited 2 hours to come tell you that we're going to do nothing.
That's
I get it,
like bullshit.
In so many missing person cases, they do show up. I don't know. This law, this whole we have to wait. I'm so torn on it. 'Cause it's like I know the cops have other things to do. I know that there's other stuff going on.
Yeah, but
and that
you're
they're
not.
Adult,
I don't think most normal people are going to be calling. Okay, I understand that there's probably some people that call after everything, but most normal people, I think, are only going to call when they feel like they've done everything else.
Okay, well, and listening to this situation, I feel like it's obvious, regardless where Tyler was not in a state of mind. He didn't have a phone. Obviously, wherever he is not great.
Right.
It's not just like he ran away. It's like he was drunk and disoriented and phoneless now. Regardless where Tyler is, he's probably not doing great. In this like I said, this isn't just like, oh yeah, I woke up and he had ran off and possibly left me. He took his suitcase. You know what I mean? It's he wandered away while drunk in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's really sketchy for me.
Why would you think that you are in like a different place? Like
the cops aren't going to do anything, but Tyler's family comes out, right?
Okay.
So now Tyler's family drives out to the area and some more friends, and they continue to search this whole area, which is now busy. Like I said, this is a business district. Like there is wooded parks and stuff, but there's a lot of business and people and things going on.
Okay.
And you feel like someone would have noticed him, but no one does. Even as the family's out searching, they find nothing. Okay. So finally, on Tuesday, February 26th, so her birthday was the 24th. Now, Tuesday, February 26th, it's been long enough that the police are ready to get involved.
Oh, great. I'm so happy that you finally decide that this is the time.
So the police get involved and they come search and they still don't see any signs of Tyler. Not that surprising because, everyone else already did that job. Now that we have the police interference, we are able to get a little bit more information. So they get footage from the hotel and they see someone that could be Tyler, but it's a little blurry and it could also be the friend. So I've seen a picture from it, and I don't know. But the police are also able to access his phone records. And so they kind of have a path of, so you can see he is like wandering all over the place. You can kind of see there at 3:40 a.m. when he's in kind of like this tree area, like I said, looks kind of more like a very wooded park area to me. But that's
Okay.
probably when he was in the woods. And
Okay.
then he just like keeps wandering around and then is in like the frickin' middle of nowhere when the phone finally goes.
347, 351, 353 is the last one, right?
Yep.
What the
That's why I said. I don't know. So that's where we lose track of Tyler.
Okay.
All right, and now this is important to me because they are able to get a clip of him talking to his phone, asking like Google, and they're
Okay.
like, and he's saying, "Take me to Easton Suites." Okay, so why this is important to me is that it is showing that he is trying to get back to the hotel.
And that now he remembers where he's supposed to be.
Okay,
So did
I
he
have-
not, do you think because he was drunk and disoriented that you didn't think that he was already at the Easton Suites at the beginning?
Well, maybe because like some of the hotels look similar and it's a big area, so maybe he thought it
Okay.
was the wrong hotel or something. I don't know. So
Possibility.
he is talking to his phone. Like I said, I've heard this clip. It says, "Take me to Easton Suites." So he's talking to his phone, trying to get a map. And to me, this kind of shows that he probably didn't just run off. He wanted to go back to the hotel, but just never made it. So
Okay.
people are like, he probably just ran away. And I'm like, then why is he trying to get his phone to take him back to the hotel?
Well, and now I can see why some people might think maybe they were doing drugs or something, because other drugs fuck with your mind too. But you know what? Alcohol could fuck with your mind just like that too.
All right. So there are a lot of different theories to this case. So one is like suicide. But once again,
I don't
why
buy
was he
that.
trying to get back to the hotel? And where the hell would his body be if he's committing suicide?
Mm,
Like, if he's committing suicide, you feel like he'd be somewhere obvious, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Would have left a note or something.
Yeah. Some people think that Tyler went to make a drug deal and that something went down with this dealer, making it so that, he didn't come back. Now we're getting into like Breaking Bad type stuff going on, right?
How sweet.
And so people think, they're like, that's why Brittany let him go, because he went to go make a drug deal.
The thing is that they've never had any previous drug charges or anything on them like that. I don't know. I don't really buy that.
Okay. So this next one I think is really interesting, but it also is a little bit too much like a movie. Some people theorize that he was hit by a car and then the people inside didn't want to get in trouble, so they moved the body. Maybe?
Maybe. I mean, his phone did die and it was on a street.
And then another theory is that he got hit, but he was dragged far enough away and made it was so unrecognizable that they just haven't identified this body as Tyler yet because it was far away from the scene and unrecognizable. People do sadly get dragged like that sometimes, but
Yeah.
all right.
It does happen.
So there's those two different theories where he got hit by a car and then his body was moved either intentionally so someone didn't get in trouble or by accident because the person just didn't realize somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that's late at night. So if someone's driving, most likely it's either A, for a job, or B, because they've been drinking lately and hit someone and then, realize that they did actually severely harm someone, then that is possible. And it's possible too that they just let him drag. Oh, you want to come in, Jeter? Jesus, he just keeps coming in and out, in and out. Is that so? My cat's acting like a bird now.
Well, that happens a lot in my world.
So those are both possible.
All right, that's not the end of our theories either. Okay, so a very common theory is that he passed out somewhere and then died because of the weather. But once again, where the hell is he passing out that no one's finding him? Well, maybe, but the phone place wasn't like the last time they saw him, his phone wasn't in the woods. And once again, it's not like this wooded area is super huge. They searched it pretty thoroughly.
I don't know. Hey, maybe he did what, apparently Cammy Shepherd did and went into a storm drain to keep warm.
That is another theory,
Oh.
that as he was walking across that
Are you
street,
serious?
well, not that he climbed in, but that like there was construction and things, that he either got injured in a construction site or that there was
Okay.
like a grate or manhole that was open and he wandered into it and then someone closed it up like that while they were working. 'Cause, construction sites sometimes start early in the morning like
And
that,
didn't
right?
even notice.
And they didn't know he was in there. So it is a theory that he walked into an open grate or manhole and it got closed.
Okay.
Or like I said,
I
there
was
some
totally joking, but yeah.
Nope, I've read it. Or that like there was construction in the area and he wandered onto a construction site.
That's technically possible.
So that is another theory that happened, and that's how he just disappeared, right? And then my last like theory that I read online was that after his phone died, he asked someone to help him, and he chose the wrong person to help him. So he gets in the car with someone who says they're going to take him back, but this person who was out in the middle of the night doesn't take him back.
That's possible too.
So there's a lot of theories in this very weird story.
I feel like that is a very possible ability too, because that would explain like why he's not found anywhere. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, all of these theories make a little bit of sense.
That'd be interesting to check and see if there's been any other disappearances in that area.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it still could be aliens. I think aliens make about as much sense as any of these other theories.
It could be. You know what?
I don't really know.
It could be on this one.
There's a lot of theories that make about as much sense as aliens to me.
I'd have to agree with that. Yeah. It could have been aliens, but the fact, he walked away on his own and everything. I'm either going to go with number one. He walked into a construction site and got killed somehow. Maybe a manhole, maybe ran over something. I don't know. Who the hell knows? For all we know, he could have actually gone to sleep and passed out in like one of those chipper things, those wood chipper things or something like that, and got chopped up.
Wow, that's even darker than I was going.
Well, that's how I roll.
Oh God, that's a dark one.
So that's a possibility, and the possibility too if he got picked up, especially if there was other disappearances in that area.
Wood chipper. Oh my gosh. All right, everybody. So if anyone else has an additional theory as to what happened to Tyler, please feel free to send it in so we can read it.
Yeah.
You can send that to our email, our Instagram. Can you send things on TikTok? Can they TikTok you?
Yeah, they can send me a message.
How does that work? Instagram, TikTok, our email, any of that, please feel free to let us know what you think happened to Tyler.
For sure, guys. And also, I just want to shout this out to Hunt to Killer. So if you guys want to try this out and you haven't, or if you guys just, want another Hunt to Killer box, Hunt to Killer is offering 20% off for our listeners if you use code Theory. So use code Theories in Hunt to Killer. I'll go ahead, I'll link it all in the bio down here. And yeah, feel free to check them out. And let's do some mysteries. And you know what? I think when I come up next, which is hopefully in August, do a box together.
Ooh, that sounds good. Especially if it's as hot. Like, I don't know. I think at least all the West is as hot as we are. If everyone else is in as big of a heat wave as we are, you want to find something to entertain yourself inside.
Exactly.
So Hunt a Killer is a great option to stay inside, out of the heat, and have a lot of fun.
Exactly. Awesome. Again, guys, that is code Theories. I'll go ahead and link it in the description here. And well, guys, just keep
fucking
going.